reality is, when you look at intelligence inside of a professional services firm, there's three levels. And what most people on here today are familiar with is the concept of individual intelligence. This is, I'm sure everybody here has had this happen, like, hey, where have we done X? And somebody answers, oh, this person here did that project 2 years ago, and I think they remember. You should go talk to them. So then you spend 3 days trying to find time on that person's calendar. You finally get it, and then they say something to the effect of, oh yeah, I did that project. I don't really remember. And it didn't actually go that well, but I don't really remember why. And oh, by the way, I have another meeting starting right now. So let's find another time to connect. That's where most firms are today, point to point, and person to person. And the reality is we see that behavior all the way from 10-person firms, one-person individual contractors, all the way up to like the biggest of the big. And that's a really challenging spot to be as a firm, because you're directly tied to the individual people that are delivering that project. And it's really stressful for those individual people too, because there's a ton of chaos in trying to route to find the right person when you need help. Recently, there's been a lot of talk about collective intelligence, and this is where I think a lot of the conversation is heading with AI. So what's collective intelligence, right? Maybe you have shared Google Drives. Maybe you have a training program inside the organization where you're systemically, telling people how they should operate and how they should work together. Maybe you have a CRM where nobody ever updates it, and you've got, 5 different versions of the same pitch decks that, nobody is sure which the right one is. So even still, a lot of that collective intelligence is really just knowing the one person to talk to who solved the problem before, and then also having them point you to the share drive that exists for that project that happened 2 years ago, but they're going to give you a dump of all of these documents. What we're talking about here today is this concept of compounding intelligence. And we really think that for professional services, this is the end game. And when we say compounding intelligence, what we really mean by that is, through the natural course of work, people working day to day, all of the client interactions, all of our internal ceremonies, all of the collective knowledge of the organization is feeding an internal hive mind where all of the prior collective experiences of the firm are building upon each other. So you can understand not only what we've worked on in the past, or what the pitch deck looked like, but you can actually understand what are the sticking points on my projects. Why are my projects going red? What are the common themes that are happening in them? And are there flags that I can detect in my client's tone and sentiment on the meetings before it gets escalated to me? Like, my biggest pet peeve in the world was always when I'd have a client call me and I'd say, hey, how's it going? And they would say, actually, not so good. There's something that we need to talk about. And I was totally blindsided by that. So we think about compounding intelligence as a system of tools and knowledge that makes the individual frontline consultants more effective, makes your sellers able to understand the context of the environment that they're selling into, both for new customers and renewals, and then also giving management a layer to understand and flag issues and opportunities on client engagements before they become on your back foot type of problems.